What's going on, y'all? Darius here at Navy Recruit. You see the shirt, right? Okay, cool. Alright, so this is my first video. You can call this kind of like a pre-update because it's really before I'm really out in the fleet. But I'm just trying to give y'all a little insight from the outside looking in, from the inside looking out, from my perspective, so y'all can know how it's gonna be like, right? Alright, so I do ship out on Thursday. So I'm gonna get into that in a second though. All right, so say you've already met with your recruiter, you've already figured out you want to go into the Navy, Air Force, Marines, Space Force, you know either one, right? Because the process is really essentially the same, depending on what branch you're going. So it's really the same, just different branch, different branch, different location, a little bit of a different process that you know what I'm saying? But for the most part, it's the same. All right, so the way it works is you're going to go down to MEPS. After you met with your recruiter and you figure out you want to go in, you're going to go down to MEPS. Pretty much MEPS is the center that you swear in at. You pick your MOS, which your job title, you do your vision test and everything. All right. So the way it works is the night before you're going to go down to a hotel. They're going to have you go in there. You're going to check in with your liaison. You're going to go up to the desk. You're going to sign in on a sheet. Pretty much you're going to, put in your first, last name, base information. You will get 2 free meals. So one will be dinner. Usually it's served from like 5 to 10-ish, something like that. Me personally, by the time I get there, I'm already hungry. So as soon as 5 o'clock hit, I'm down there and I'm getting my dinner. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna be real. I'm getting my dinner by 5 o'clock sharp. You know what I'm saying? But that's just me though. You know what I'm saying? Some people like eating later. You know what I mean? But all right, you will have dinner the night before. Pretty much the rest of the night is pretty much just laid back and chill time. You're just preparing for the next day, because the next day is when you're going to go into mess. Mind you, too, you probably going to have a roommate, too. So mentally, I'll prepare saying that you will have a roommate. You might not, depending on your situation, but I would just say that you will, just so you don't get disappointed, you know what I mean? All right, so the next morning, they're going to be waking you up about 4:55-ish, 4:55, 5-ish, real early. You know what I'm saying? If you're not a morning person, hey, honestly, I would prepare and mentally be up by like 4:30. You up by 4:30, you don't even gotta worry about them wake you up because you already up. You know what I'm saying? You beat them to it. Cool, right? All right, so that morning is when you go down there. You're gonna have breakfast. You're gonna have to be down there about 5:20-ish. Another thing, they don't want you coming down without your roommate. They want everything in uniform and a standard, right? So if you 10 minutes ahead of your roommate, unfortunately, you have to wait on that, right? So after that, you're going to go downstairs, right? You're going to go downstairs. Comes to breakfast, you'll probably have about 20, 30-ish minutes to eat before you depart. Depending on the place, all depends on their standards and time. But usually, you're probably going to have about 20, 30-ish minutes to eat, depending on what time you go down there, mind you. So definitely I would plan ahead, try to get down there as early as possible so you're not waiting in line, so you got as much time to eat, so you're not rushing all that, right? Okay. So after you eat, y'all gonna be like, I'm gonna be lined up in a line, right? Y'all all gonna be in a line. Pretty much y'all gonna have y'all IDs, y'all gonna have y'all room passes, and y'all gonna give them the room passes, essentially. Y'all gonna get on the bus, they gonna have y'all lined up. Depending on what y'all situation is, sometimes they just line you up. Sometimes they're like, okay, A, B situation. Depending on where y'all at. Depends on how they do it, right? So you're gonna take the bus, you're gonna go to MEPS. Now this today to where you're gonna take your eyesight test. You're gonna take your MOS, you're gonna choose your MOS, which is your job title. And 9 times out of 10, you're gonna swear in as well, right? Okay. So just let y'all know a little bit about this as well. And you're gonna take your drug test as well. So I'll definitely give y'all some insight on that. First of all, personally, I would recommend getting a little cheap drug test from Dollar Tree before you go down there. If you feel like you don't know 100% if it's clean or not, just get a little cheap one from Dollar Tree. Just make sure before you go down there. It's just better to be safe than sorry. You know what I'm saying? Anyways, because you definitely do not want to pop that test. I'm telling you. So if you pop it, either they're going to deny you, you won't be able to get in, or they may be lenient and let you come back. But personally, I just would be 6 steps ahead already, so you don't even got to worry about that, right? Okay. So when it comes to the eyesight test, I'm going to let y'all know right now, it's not like your typical eyesight test. I failed it. I'm gonna be real. I failed the eyesight test. Personally, I have pretty good vision, but the test is kind of skeptical. It's not the same as if you just walk into an eye doctor. So I'll let y'all know right now that you might have to retake it, especially if you're trying to do like aviation or a sharpshooter, something that's gonna take like real good eyesight. You might have to retake it if you're really trying to get that job for real. But me personally, I just went ahead and chose another job. I was gonna do aviation, but I was like, I ain't trying to come back because that would have been like my third or fourth time. You know what I'm saying? That's a conversation for a whole nother video though. But say you've already swore in, right? You took your drug test, you took your eye test, you chose your MOS with your job title. Cool. So now you waiting in the same position as me. Now, once you at this point where I'm at, you're gonna get put in something called a DEP program. It stands for Delayed Entry Program. You take people from y'all unit, whether you're in the Army, Navy, it's just all y'all waiting to get shipped out to go to boot camp. Essentially, that's what it is. You know what I'm saying? It might be a month, it might be 2 months for you. This person might be leaving out next week. You may be leaving out in 2 months. It just depends. But if you're trying to get out of there as early as possible, I recommend when you go down the MEPS and when you go and choose your MOS, tell them you're trying to get out of here as fast as possible. They might be able to pull some strings for you. If not, you can talk to your recruiter about it, and they may be able to do something for you. Might. I don't want to make any promises because it all depends on what they have going on. They have a lot of people leaving out. If it's, it just all depends, right? So that's the position I'm at. I will be leaving out on Thursdays when I ship out. You see, I got the clean shaving going on. I'm a barber, so I just figured if I just go ahead and cut my own hair, and I don't got to worry about them cutting it for me. I could be wrong, you know what I'm saying? But least case scenario, it's already low, so I'm already used to seeing myself like this. So I don't even got to adjust to a new look. You know what I'm saying? I'm already used to it, so I don't even got to worry about that, right? But yeah, that's the pretty much just how it goes before you go to boot camp. I'm gonna keep y'all updated. I'm gonna continue to keep on doing videos as I get to the hotel. Probably show y'all around, show you what it look like, so y'all know how it go. Just give y'all the whole rundown so you really know, like, okay, what I'm getting into and what I gotta prepare for. But yeah, keep y'all updated. All right, y'all, I'm out.